Hi, I'm Anthony Sammarco, and I'm the author of Lost Boston. But I'm also the author of Christmas Traditions in Boston, a book that was recently published by Fonthill Press in London. It's something that talks about the wonderful traditions of how Bostonians celebrated Christmas. But the concept was, in the 17th century, when the Puritans who settled Massachusetts Bay Colony arrived, seeking religious freedom, they themselves would actually ban Christmas. Christmas was legally banned in Boston in 1659 when the Great and General Court actually passed an ordinance not only banning it, but legally outlawing it. But by the 19th century, we began to realize in some ways that not only was Christmas something that was being celebrated not only by the descendants of the Puritans, but the recent immigrants from France, Germany, and Ireland. And in the 1830s, Charles Follen, a man who had come to Boston from Germany to actually teach German at Harvard College, was someone who would bring along with him that wonderful Germanic tradition of evergreens in the house. Well, in the latter part of the 19th century, Christmas traditions would evolve, especially here in downtown Crossing. Today, we're at the junction of Washington Street, Summer and Winter Streets, and the idea was that a century ago, many of the department stores in downtown Boston began to celebrate not only the holiday season, but the period that they made most of their profits. There aren't many department stores that we once knew in Boston that remain. At one time there was Jordan Marsh, Filene's, Gilchrist, Kennedy's, R.H. Stearns, R.H. White, Raymond's. But when you came to Boston during that period, each one of them would be beautifully decorated. So in a lot of ways, even Jordan Marsh would actually expand and would see not only nativity creche on the parapet directly above the entrance to the store, but also introduce in 1959 the enchanted village of St. Nicholas, something that was actually to not only delight adults but mesmerize children throughout the 1960s and 1970s. And they produced 240 animated figures of men, women, and children, as well as even animals that would actually be in this enchanted village that was 3/4 of scale, but also something that not only had ice cream parlors, bakeries, glassblower shops, a small schoolroom, and even a village jail. It was a wonderful tradition that became in some ways indispensable to Jordan Marsh. Now the idea was that Christmas traditions would also include Boston Common when it was decorated throughout the period of the 20th century. Not only was there a community tree that was erected by Mayor John Fitzgerald in 1905, but we'd also see a nativity creche that was erected on the slope directly in front of the Massachusetts State House. These were life-size figures of Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus, the three kings, as well as shepherds and sheep. But we also realized that many of the things that were displayed there included an old chapel, where children would sing, as well as actually even choirs from various churches in and around the Boston area. But the Common also had trees that were decorated in multicolored lights, so that basically trees bordering on Beacon Street, Park Street, Tremont, and Boylston Street would be draped with beautiful lights that one could see from near and afar. The Common was a special place, and it was a place of resort, but it was also something that after all of this, whether it was the Enchanted Village, shopping at the department stores, visiting the Common, maybe even Santa Claus, one might stop at Bailey's Ice Cream for a hot fudge sundae. Christmas traditions in Boston is a wonderful thing, and though each of us have our own memories, we also share them because it's a wonderful concept and a delicious memory from the past.